A 42-yard touchdown catch, 107 yards receiving, 7 catches in total. The numbers for our guest, UCLA wide receiver J.Michael Sturdivant, on the Bruin Insider Show alongside Nick Koop. I'm Bryan Fenley. J-Mike, great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know about you, but I go back to last weekend, and I think about, sure, the team would have loved to come out with a win, but for you to get that 42-yard touchdown catch, I have watched that clip too many times to think of a number. How often have you watched it, and how many people have sent you that clip to congratulate you?
I watched it a couple times. You know, the day I like to go on my phone after games and look at the highlights. And then my sister reposted it, so I got to. It's cool to see my family that's not at the game still tapped in watching it and posting on social media. So it's cool to have love like that. And then my aunts, uncles, other cousins are sending me it, congratulating me. And my best friend was at the game, so with my family. So it was cool seeing the videos. And then some friends I have at the game, they were sending me them too. So it was cool to have a support system like that. But yeah, it's definitely a cool moment for sure.
But it's just another in a long line of you hauling in a deep pass from Ethan Garbers. I think back to the bowl game. There were several of those. How have you guys been able to develop such a connection on the field?
It's just easy to play with him. He has a good deep ball, and it's fun to go and chase him down. So when we have opportunities like that in the game, it's always great to execute those, and it's one of the best feelings in football.
How can Ethan and whoever is in a quarterback continue to optimize your skills and get the most out of you as this season goes on?
I'm just trying to do my best every play, to whether the ball's coming to me or not, to execute my job to help this team win, whether that's a run block or a short pass and I have to make somebody miss, or being able to chase down a deep ball. So I know they have a lot of confidence in me, and I have a lot of confidence in them no matter what the play call is. So we just have to continue to keep doing our jobs.
You mentioned doing your job if the ball's not coming towards you. And prior to this breakout game, you hadn't caught a pass in a couple games. How do you handle that as a receiver?
Obviously you don't want to go games without touching the ball, but, that was the cards I was dealt. So it was really just focusing on how I could help the team win and make plays without having to actually touch the ball. So whether that was I had to align and run off so somebody else could get open, or I had to make sure I secured a block so somebody could cut up. But any way possible, I was just trying to be a football player and help this team move forward.
Your touchdown in the fourth quarter gave the Bruins the lead. You guys come up just a little bit short, but you're so close. We've talked about this. You guys right now, considering your effort, are so close to coming up with that win. And while you guys fight for that next win, I noticed something, that you guys continue to have that ferocity on the field, the fight, the grit. You guys are playing the hardest that I've seen you play. At some point, this is eventually going to pay off. Why is it that you guys, and what is it about the morale of this team, that even when things aren't going right, that you continue to play with the utmost energy and the utmost fight?
Well, this team is tough, and we're really, really strong brothers. So nobody wants to quit. We don't have any quitters in this locker room. We all want to win everything, whether it's rock, paper, scissors, or a football game. We just want to win. So it's really easy to quit, but we don't have none of that in our locker room. It's not in our culture. So it's really easy. You can see us at practice. We're practicing fast, practicing with a lot of energy. And it starts with Coach Foster. He makes sure that we have a lot of energy, and the coaching staff has energy. So it's really we're right there. We've been in a lot of games and let them slip away, but we're focusing on each week. We're trying to go 1-0 every week, and we can't focus on the past because it's not going to help us in the future. So we're focusing on having energy and being able to come out every day and play the game that we love.
What is that extra little percent that you guys need to capture to get over the hump there and realize your guys' full potential? Because we've seen it in games. When it's clicking, it's great.
Right.
How do you find that consistency throughout 4 quarters?
We just have to be more disciplined. We have to continue to do our 1/11th and continue to do it at the best of our ability. So once we're clicking, like you said, we're obviously clicking. So we just have to find times where we're not clicking and figure out to make ways to make sure that we're clicking a lot more efficiently.
J.Michael Sturdivant, UCLA wide receiver, our guest on the Bruin Insider Show with Nick Koop. I'm Bryan Fenley. When you're playing at your best, when the wide receivers are playing at their best, there's where the points start to come. And I know offensively you guys are looking to get some more points up on the board. What can you do, let's say you and the wide receiver room, say in a third and long situation, to help things out for the quarterback and Ethan Garbers, and just to make his job a little easier?
We just got to focus on getting open. You know, our routes, we got to get our depth on our routes. We have to be able to separate, and when the ball comes our way, we got to make the play. So we have to continue to make his job as easy as possible because, you know, playing quarterback isn't easy. And as a receiver, we're the quarterback's best friend, so we have to make sure that he can trust us and that we have trust in him to go, and no matter what the situation is, whether it's third and short, third and long, like you said, to be able to go out and keep the drive alive.
Coming into the season, everyone on the outside saw the receiver room as one of the deepest, and that was without really knowing that Quasi and Carter were really going to have a big impact.
Right.
How have those guys pushed the rest of you and all you experienced guys this year?
Well, I'm not surprised at having the success that they had. You know, obviously they've been working their butts off since the spring. So it's really cool to see some young guys like that start to shine, and it really just helps the team go forward. And as a room, you know, we all like to push each other. We all like I said, we like to win in everything. And we really all get along. So it's fun to have a group like that with young guys and old guys that really are just all trying to fight for one common goal and just pushing to get better every day.
Your offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, obviously you've worked with him since the spring when he got here, so you're very familiar with him. How are you guys growing and getting to know each other more and building off one another and understanding each other?
Really, he's a really funny guy. So being able to joke in the meeting room or off the field, it lets you get to know like who Coach EB really is, and it makes it easier to want to play for a guy like that. And the communication on the field gets a lot easier when you start to have a personal relationship. So having a guy like that in the building is really great, and obviously he's a winner. So being able to lean on a guy like that and trust in him it's really fun to have.
I got to ask you about your jersey numbers. Cal, you went from 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Here you've gone from 1 to 7.
Right.
So are you just trying to keep things fresh, or are you just trying to get to 7 some way?
I really like 7. 7's my number. I wore it in high school. And obviously at Cal I switched to it, and then I got the opportunity to switch to it again this year. So I had to take the leap. But yeah, that's my number.
To pick 7 in high school, was it just what was available, or is there some deeper significance to you going with number 7?
In high school, that was the number that was given to me, and then I started to take off on the football scene from there. So that my identity was kind of in 7, and that's just I felt the most comfortable in it. You know, it's a number of completion, and it just feels right to be on me.
I know we're focused on the team right now, but I remember talking to you last year. We got to know about you and your goals of playing at the next level. How do you feel like you've grown in the last year or so as you work to realize your dreams of playing in the NFL, hopefully?
It's really just being more of a football player. Like me and EB have talks about not just being a receiver, but being a complete football player. So I'm starting to learn coverages, starting to see them in real time, special teams, doing anything I can to help this team move forward and develop myself as a football player and as a receiver at the same time. So just really growing from just running a route to being able to undress the defense and understand concepts to another level has been something that I've improved on a lot.
As you're identifying those concepts and you're looking at different coverages and preparing for teams, you got Rutgers obviously coming up on Saturday. But what would it be like if, say, Nick and I were sitting in with you in a film session and we're listening to your breakdown? What are you specifically seeing and what you're communicating to those around you as you're watching whatever you are watching play out?
It's really about alignments and certain techniques we can expect to see versus certain alignments and how other teams play their certain defenses. So really just watching film, breaking it down with the coaches or even with Ethan, just watching how what to expect so that when game time comes, we've already seen it 100 times. So really just being able to develop a habit of watching more and more film has been something that I've tried to work on this year.
I'd love to delve in a little bit deeper, and I think fans might be curious too. So on any given play, as you're trying to figure out what the coverage is in that split second from the ball snap, how does that potentially alter what your responsibility might be?
Sometimes it'll change the way I'll run a route to get a certain reaction out of a DB or to get a certain reaction from a defense, try to get them to switch or play a certain leverage so that we have the upper hand on the route. And like the example was last week when we were tighter, we knew that they were going to play a quarters coverage and then they're run heavy, so they were going to drop, and we were able to just throw it right over their heads. So just being able to have a offensive coordinator that can see stuff like that, a quarterback that can see it, and me myself just trying to being able to play like more than just a receiver and trying to think more like a quarterback and think more like offensive coordinator and being able to go out and make plays like that.
That big play you made, the 42-yard touchdown catch on Saturday against Minnesota, you had one-on-one coverage, and you had that breakaway speed. The speed, when you got the ball in your hands in the open field, I mean, I can't find that there's anybody that can get in your way. How have you been able to be so dominant when you got the rock in your hands, you've got open field, and it just seems like there's nothing that can get in the way of you?
It's really shout out to my mom. She was a track star in college.
Wow.
So my mom, she blessed me with the speed. My dad's going to say he got some speed to me too as well. But it's really my mom. My mom was a really good track star. She's a Hall of Famer at Bradley, and I feel like she kept me and my little sister in track a lot. So being able to run since a young kid has been just all I know. So that was very easy to transition into the football scene, and I'm blessed to have that ability and a family like that to raise me in it, and it's been a lot of fun to have that in my bag.
The speed, but you see the technique on that play, and I've seen it a couple times with these deep shots where you don't let the corner know that the ball is coming until the very end, right? You're kind of keeping your hands in, and how have you just developed that skill set over the years?
Just working on late hands, if it's the jug machines or working it at practice or working it before or after practice, just trying to get rid of the keys for the DBs to cue on to try and cheat the game. So just trying to work on it and watching the pros do it on the TVs. It's just something that I'm trying to implement into my game, and obviously it's starting to work.
J.Michael Sturdivant, our guest on the Bruin Insider Show. Last one from me here alongside Nick Koop. I'm Bryan Fenley. You have the speed, you've got the talent, and the ability to catch the football in so many different places. Your radius as well. Let's talk about your radius. And as far as it just seems as if all the ball needs to be is somewhere in the area code. How do you develop such a great radius of wherever the ball is? Is it high? Is it to the side? Is it low? Where you're able to adjust so well? What does it take to be good at that? Receiving wherever the ball's coming near you.
It's really just working on catching the football at different angles. Like on the jug machines, I try my best to work on not catching it at the same angle all the time. I try to work on throwing myself off so that I'm forced to relocate the ball in midair. But yeah, just working on it all the time. Maybe it's a tennis ball off the wall or a ball to myself in my bed. Just trying to figure out different ways to mix it up so that I'm training my brain to locate the ball in like awkward situations.
Season's long. It's a grind every day to do what you do. How do you keep yourself fresh mentally and or physically?
I like to play a game. I play Minecraft with my friends, and it's good to detach from stuff like that or go hang out with my people when they come out here, hop on the phone with my sisters or my mom, my dad. Just being able to have a support system like that has made it very easy to make it through football seasons. And obviously having teammates like this, they're easy to lean onto in the locker room and just to enjoy the camaraderie and enjoy the people that are around me.
From Minecraft to please keep this guy in mind as far as the talent he has. Next level is coming, but right now his focus is with UCLA and finishing out this season strong. J.Michael Sturdivant, the Bruin wide receiver. Nick Koop, I'm Bryan Fenley. Thanks so much, J.
Thank
Mike.
you, guys. Go Bruins.
All right.